Hello, my name's Jason and welcome to another episode of me drawing again. Oh yeah, we're drawing again and I'm feeling very addicted to it. I have to say, when I start sketchbooking it's hard to stop. And today I thought I'd give you a few more tips, well specifically one tip to improve your drawing, but we'll call this more tips to improve your drawing for beginners. Just made that up. Yeah, oh yeah. So anyway, here we go. Let's see what we're doing today. Sitting back, having a look. Produced by Reverend Mark King and Sarah Fezio. I think that's how you say the names. Thanks very much to my patrons for helping me produce these videos. And here we go. So I'm using the Cachet Sketchbook, Earthbound, and it's a daily Rowney one. I'll put a link in the description. And I'm using Derwent pencils, drawing pencils, and I really like them. I got a new pack because some of mine are broken, and to be fair, I have moved a couple of times because of various reasons. And so here we go. I'm measuring. Like I said in the first video when I was drawing, you gotta measure. I do anyway. I find measuring things like there, I'm measuring where the eye placement is, this part of the eye is on the page, and I can do that on the paper, because what I've done is I've printed this picture out, this reference picture out at the same size as I'm going to draw it, because, you know, I like to live on easy street. I want to make it easy for me, and so that's why I decided to do that. That's why I do that a lot now. When whatever size I'm going to do it, even if it's going to be massive, I print it out, and then I've got a good reference. And I don't need to do this squaring up malarkey. I can either trace or do this, which is my other method. Use a ruler and just measure things. Because eventually you get a perfect, well, near perfect as I can get, image. And you get all the things in the right places, so you don't get one eye that's going and the other eye down. Because one of the things about portraits, and it amuses me actually, and I'm not going to name names, but there's a lot of people that do portraits, and they just can't do eyes, and they can do one really good eye, but then the other eye is totally messed up, and it's really hard to get it right actually, because even I do it. But I worked out that if I sit back and have a look at my portrait, I can check the eyes, and you've got to do that. You've got to have a distant look at the eyes, because I tell you, the amount of pictures I've seen where the eyes are wrong, it's crazy. And it's kind of a telltale sign for someone who's in the amateur bracket. I'm in the amateur bracket myself, but to try and get to that pro level, you know, museum quality level, we need to think about things like this. So I want you to be in the museum quality level as well, alongside me. Me, Rembrandt, Rubens, Constable, Turner. You can imagine a Jason Bowen amongst them. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm living in dream world again. But we can at least make our pictures look a bit better by focusing on the eyes. Now, I purposely, on this one, didn't do two eyes at the same time. I decided, because I always do that, I always do the eyes first. Today I thought, you know what, I'm going to just go all over the place, draw the nose now, do one eye, now I'll do the nose, and then see where I go next, and just keep measuring and keep plotting in the points and keep improving the drawing, because yeah, I'm not going to get this exactly the same. No chance, because I'm using 2 pencils. I can't remember what colour that one is, the chocolate one or something like that, and a white, and that's it. So yeah, I haven't got that many colours, I'm just using 2. So I'm going to struggle to get it the same, but I want to get a likeness at least. When I post this on Facebook and people look at it, I want them to know it's Negan. If you watch The Walking Dead, you know who it is, and I want people to know that as soon as they see the picture. So if that happens when when I release my picture on Facebook and people see it, and if they go, oh, it's Negan, and I get Negan comments, then job done, in my eyes anyway. Because I want to keep my sketches to a decent amount of time, as in I don't want to be spending like 10 hours on this sketch. I want to limit myself a little bit, so I kind of think to myself about 2.5 hours probably will be enough, with a few breaks I suppose, to do a decent enough sketch. I don't want to go any longer than that, because I want to do another one, because I'm addicted. I want to do more. I always want to do more. So yeah, so anyway, I'm plotting. I'm starting to shade a little bit. Someone asked, how do you, if you're plotting all these points, how you do the shading parts? How do you know what shapes to do? Well, this is where it gets tricky. You can measure the areas that you want to shade. You can do the same thing. You can measure like the end of the shaded bit and then the beginning of the shaded bit, how far the shaded bit goes down. You can draw all that out if you wish. Or you can shade lightly at first, sit back, having a look, and check to see if you got it right. And if you got it right, you can darken your shading. That's kind of how I do it. And another trick is, if you're struggling with curves, then a good way to do it is to turn the pad around. Whatever you're drawing on, turn it around, and then you can do a better curve, because you'll find that you can do a curve one way. Like I'm right-handed, so I tend to be able to do a good round curve on the top, but then the bottom is harder. So if I want to do a nice rounded curve like that, but it's at the bottom of the eye, turn the page upside down and do the bottom part. You do the bottom part at the top, because you spin the page round, you know what I mean. So yeah, so you can spin your pad around. I try not to, because if I kept spinning this around every time I did a nice line that I wanted to do, then it'd be really difficult for you to watch it, because it would be spinning all over the place. So I thought I'd best not do that, but I'll tell you about it anyway. So there I am, look, measuring the shade. You did it there, because that was a good point. Below the lip was a good point there to get a bit of shade. I might have to do one of these drawings of me. Now, I've got another one ready that I want to do, which I like the idea of. I'm going to do a full body of someone, and I'm thinking, as I'm doing these, I'm starting to think I should start doing some tutorial type videos, rather than just me talking about drawing. Give you some tips on shading and things, just simple ones, and then let you loose on the sketchbook. Honestly though, if you're wanting to develop your art further, a sketchbook is a definite thing to purchase and start using, because let's face it, if you're a painter and you want to do loads and loads of paintings, it's going to cost you a lot more if you're doing loads of paintings, where if you do loads of drawings, it's going to cost you a lot less, because like 2 pencils, like this pencil and the white pencil, and a pencil sharpener and a rubber and a pad, you know, you can do loads of pictures. So it's just something to think about. If you want to do lots, then do that. When it changes, that's when I've gone for like a cup of coffee or something and come back. And then obviously the lighting's changing because it's a different part of the day. The sun comes in and out. You see my head going like that all the time because I'm looking at it at an angle, and I need to make sure when I measure I get it right, so I make sure my head's right above it. Sometimes I stand up actually and look down at the picture, because you're not using an easel. Because when you're painting and you've got an easel up, you can see things a lot better than drawing on a flat board. And yeah, it probably should be angled towards you, which would be easier. A lot of times when I'm using my sketchbook, I actually sketch with it on my lap, so I'm looking down at it and I angle it slightly as well, so I get a really good angle. But for filming purposes, it's easier for me to do it on the table, and then you can see me doing it. Otherwise I'd not be able to film it. So yeah, I'm looking at shade. I lightly shade first, like I was saying. Unless you're confident in the position of your shading, I would suggest do it lightly first. You can always come back and darken it. If you do a really dark shade, then it's hard to rub out. That's the problem. These things all come... That's amusing. That's my flipbook approach. It's where I literally flip the picture over the top so I can see if I've got the eyes in the right place. Even though I'm measuring, I still mess up. I was going to say, you still mess up. You might be better than me, but I still mess up. And then, so doing that flipbook method, which I did ages ago because I was doing a commission and I couldn't get this face right, so I used that method. I was going with a picture, and it's brilliant. Gets you out of a jam if you're struggling on a painting or something and you need to get it exact. Use that little method. It's really helpful. So that's a I can't remember if I said that in my other video, probably did, but it's a good tip. If you've not heard me say that before, it's a good tip for your drawing skills. The flipbook method. So I really enjoyed doing faces, and they're so difficult, but when you finish them, or you decide that you finished it, it's so satisfying, especially if it looks like the person that you've done. It's really satisfying, and you look at it and you think, oh yes, I can't believe I drew that. and it's good, a feeling of achievement, because it's difficult as well. I mean, I'm not pretending that this is easy, because it's not for me. It's quite difficult. And that's why I need a lot of tricks to get me to a point where I get a picture that I actually like. I need the ruler, I need the mid-tone sketchbook, I need the white pencil, I need the gel pen if I need it. I didn't use it in this one, but I like a white gel pen ready. And I need the soft pens. I prefer the soft pencils. I mean, I've tried the harder ones, but I don't know. Just feels good using the soft ones. Measuring the neck, measuring the neck. Oh, making me fall asleep watching myself doing a drawing. I've had a busy day. So relaxing watching drawing for some reason. Yeah, if you've been watching The Walking Dead, then you'll know this vicious character. I like that show. I kind of find his character funny in a weird way. He was quite funny, actually. He did some funny stuff, did some horrible stuff as well. That's The Walking Dead, though. You kind of expect it. Doing the flipbook method again. I'm sort of like this, looking at the mouth to see if I'm getting it right. That does look funny. Oh yeah, I was doing that shading because I remember thinking I was thinking as I was doing it, I was like, I don't think I've got that shading far down enough. So check it, flipbook method or ruler, either or. When I got to this point, I thought, my picture's looking a little bit like the Terminator. I need to somehow bring it back. I think it's because the neck was too thick, where the neck was slightly thinner than what it is. And also, I remember taking a picture at one stage. This is another tip for drawing. You might have heard me say this, or you might already know this. Taking a photo of your drawing and having a look at it is a good way to check the eyes out. You know, I was saying about people bodging up the eyes. It's such a common thing with artists bodging the eyes up because they're so easy to mess up. I don't know why. I think it's because, look at that, that's awful. Come on, Jason, sort that eye out. But yeah, it's so easy you're looking at one eye, getting that one eye right, and then you look across and you're doing that other eye. But you need to do both eyes together. Honestly, you have to really look at both of the eyes. And try and get the expression in the eyes. Yeah, I remember thinking, I'm getting happier. As more and more stuff come on to the page, I start to feel happier. At the start, I always feel a little bit like, I don't know, I feel a little bit like, I don't know if I can get through all this. It seems like a lot to do when you first start, and then suddenly, as more and more is here, you start improving it and it gets better and better, and you start shifting things like that. I was just got the sideburns too short, way too short. I don't even know why. I mean, I'm using a ruler and I still struggle. And then I think this was the point when I started to take my own advice and sit back and have a look. I started to stand up and look. I took a picture of it as well and had a look, and I was like, uh-oh, things are wrong. It was the neck. Ears are strange things. I'm yawning my head off again. Yeah, when you do portraits, you start staring at like body parts, like your ear. You're like, ears are strange. People's ear sizes. You start looking at the ear placement. You start thinking, well, they're a long way back on their head. then you start thinking, well, he's got small ears, she's got bigger ears, and you're looking at, staring at people's faces, mentally measuring things out. It's a whole new world when you start doing portraits. Same with anything really. When you start drawing and painting, you start looking at the world differently. You're looking at the world as an artist now, and you're realizing there's so much more out there. You see so much more, rather than just looking. You're really observing and taking in what you see, and that then goes into your art, because you start remembering things, even though sometimes you won't be aware of it, but you're making mental notes of how things look, the scale of things, the proportion of things. It'll just become part of you. Be just part of something you do now. I remember when I started doing that a lot. I do like shading with these pencils. As I'm watching this, I'm itching to get my sketchbook out and start drawing. I've got such a good picture to do. Such a good picture. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I need to also I need to crack on with my oil of Susanna. She needs finishing. I haven't got too many more sittings to do on that painting. I'm pretty close. I need to work a bit more on the hat and some other bits. Oh, I do love the white pencil. When you get the white pencil out and start adding in these little lights, little highlights, oh, it feels so good. It feels so good. Look how much better it makes the picture. These little bits of highlight, and it's like, oh, and this is where you get bold. You start realizing, like, this is in the right place, this is in the right place. Start shading darker. So this is another drawing tip. Contrast in your drawing. A lot of I'm putting myself in this bracket, by the way. Whenever I give tips, it's not about me being better. It's about me making you aware of things that I've been made aware of as I've been drawing. So, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so contrast in your picture. Contrast. You need lights and darks and midtones in your drawing or your painting. And if you don't have those three things, lights, darks, and midtones, if you have all of one and none of the others, then you've got issues. Because if you have all light, then you have nothing. If you have all dark, you have nothing. If you have all midtones, you have no contrast. And I mean, these rules are not exact. You can change things. You can make your own style of art. But from what I've seen, if you have good contrast in your art, then it just looks better. It's as simple as that. If you have darks and lights, if you have a highlight, if you have a dark, and if you have a mid-tone, you have all them three, then generally, I mean, the only other thing you need to do really is something good. But yeah, as long as you have your lights, your darks, and your midtones, then it's all good, isn't it? That's why I like these books, because they have perfectly good midtones already there. So you're just doing lights and darks, really. Well, you're kind of doing more than that, but just means you can see the lights with a white pencil. If you use white paper, you can't use your white pencil. It's not much fun, is it? And it really does help with your drawings. Oh yeah, that's another tip. I hardly ever do this. Is you use a piece of paper on top of your drawing so you don't smudge things when you're drawing. It's a good idea. I should really get into the habit of doing it. Because if you've worked on like the nose and you got it spot on, and then your hand's getting sweaty, and you start colouring the hair in, and you put your hand right on the nose, and the nose smudges, and then you move your hand after you've done a really nice bit of hair, and then you look at the nose and it's smudged. It's going to be it's going to be a tragic moment. So it's a good habit to get into, using a bit of rough paper and covering areas. So there's me working on my contrast again, you see. It's really important. In a lot of art books that I've read, it's one of the things that gets mentioned as the typical issues with beginner paintings and drawings, is that everything's like flat. If you're having that problem yourself and you think, well, my drawings look flat or my paintings look flat, I can't seem to get depth and distance in any of it, then think about that and think about contrast. Are your darks dark enough? Are your lights light enough? Something to check on, isn't it? I think when you're doing a drawing, or even if you're copying like this, copying a reference picture, I'm still thinking about where the light's going, where the light is hitting his face, and studying that and thinking about it as I'm doing it. Because then when I start making up people, which is what I'm going to start doing as well, then I've got some of that in my memory bank. I can't speak. In my memory banks, I can remember how the lighting is, how the light is hitting his face, how it's hitting one side, and then there's a little bit of a light that goes on the outside to separate his face from the background. And when they're making movies and things, oh yes, I actually remembered. I got the piece of paper on top of the nose. Brilliant. Yeah, so when they're making their movies and TV shows and things, they've got professionals working out this lighting. They've got people spent years studying it probably, and getting paid loads of money to sort the lighting out. So you can study that and learn from them, and add it into your pictures, add it into your paintings and drawings. That's what I do. You don't need to, I know, art school is probably helpful. I mean, I've never been, but you can do it yourself. You can learn these things yourself. I mean, you're learning from the best there. If you're studying movies and TV and some of the best shows with these huge budgets, they got the creme de la creme working on the lighting and stuff, and the costumes and things. You can benefit from it by doing some copying, and then do some learning about composition and lighting and costume and things, and hone your crafts, hone your craft of drawing, and then you can start getting creative and doing your own thing. That's what I think about when I'm doing my drawings. it's amazing what you learn. You don't realise you're learning so much when you're doing things like this. Because now I've drawn these eyes, I've drawn this nose, I've drawn this mouth. These things go in my memory now. And if I'm going to draw somebody else, a made-up person, I might think about the way I drew this nose or these eyes. They might end up coming back. But then if you do a lot of these portraits, and get a lot of noses and eyes and mouths and chins and hair and all these things, then that's when you got a lot of different character traits in your arsenal, so you can start making your own up. If you was going to draw your own comic book, or maybe you was just going to do some portraits for practice and you wanted to make your own faces up, this is a good way to train your eye, add things to your memory. So the more I do add bits to this, the better it gets, and the happier I get. Because I sort of start off the drawing with a bit of a sad face, and then the more I do it, and the smile gets bigger and bigger, especially if it works, especially if the picture works out. And I've got to be honest, they don't always. If I feel a little bit lazy and I don't use my methods of using a ruler and being strict with myself, and sometimes I don't get a good picture, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't need to use a ruler and things, and I just get it right straight away, and I don't know how that happens, but sometimes it does. And but I've learned that I need the ruler. I need as much help as I can get to get the picture right. So I try to always use what's available to me. And drawing hair is just like drawing anything else, just lights and darks. I try to shade a little bit first to stop a huge light dark contrast on the hairline, because then it can make it look a little bit too strong on the hairline, make it look like a wig almost if you go really light and then really dark in one go. That's why I shaded a little bit first. So I'm building up the contrast again on the picture, looking at those darks, getting them darker a bit more and a bit more. Like I said, I could keep going with this drawing really. I could keep shading and probably spend a couple more hours on it and get it further closer to the reference, but you've got to make a decision at some point and say, well, I've got to start another one. But I used to smudge everything, and this one I didn't smudge much. In fact, I don't think I smudged at all. I just did the soft strokes for my lighter areas, and then darkened in the dark. I think it's quite effective using this way of developing your picture. And of course, the other tip is that you're using no colour, therefore you're concentrating on the tone, which is a good thing, because if you practice with your tones, that's it, finished. Yeah, when you practice with your tone, then you can add colour and just remember the tone, remember the tones of the colour, and then makes it a little bit easier for you, so you don't have as much to think about. So you're just thinking about, like I was saying, the highlights, the shadows. I mean the darks, the midtones, the highlights. So yeah, that's what this episode's all about, really. Just drumming that into you. Or maybe I'm drumming it into myself. So I make sure I do it next time. Because always, I need to learn. So anyway, I don't want you to get bored of me talking about this. So we'll call this one finished for today. And so thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, click the like button and share it, and maybe leave me a comment. Maybe let me know who you'd like me to draw next, or what you'd like me to do next. So thanks very much for watching. If you want to send me a picture that you've done, or share a picture, you can do it on my Facebook. And if you'd like to support my channel and help me make more videos, then you can pledge on Patreon and become a patron. For as little as $1 a month, you can do Patreon, or that's it. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in another one. Cheers, bye.